These are my Spanish C2 test results. Let's open them. Actually, we're going to look at them on the computer. So this is from the Instituto Cervantes in Spain, and it says, "Esteemed Jerry," I'll let my middle name be a mystery to the world, "we inform you that the results of the candidate with registration code blah 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 in the November 2022 examination session have been published." For context, the Spanish C2 exam is the highest Spanish certification exam in the world. And you'll see that they'll actually give you 3 scores for the 3 tests you'll take back to back in this exam. Here's how I did on the first of the 3 tests. Test 1 is reading comprehension and listening. It lasts about an hour and 45 minutes and has 6 parts. Part 1 is vocabulary. You get a text with about 12 tricky vocabulary questions. Part 2 is reading comprehension. You read a text and try to fill in the missing paragraphs from a list of options. Part 3 is also reading comprehension, where you match paragraphs to the right summaries. Then part 4 is listening comprehension, where you listen to some audio and then choose statements that are true about that audio. Part 5 is also listening. This time you listen to a debate and figure out which arguments were made by which person or made by no one. And 6 is also listening. This time you listen to an interview and you answer multiple choice questions about it. So for test 1, the max points is 33.33. You need at least 20 points to pass this test, and I got a 26.92. So that's a pass for test 1. It's a good start, definitely with room for improvement, so I'm psyched to keep working on my reading comprehension and listening skills. Test 1 in the bag, but we're not over the hill yet. Test 2 is the writing test. It'll run you 2 hours and 30 minutes, and this has 3 writing tasks for you. Task 1 is a 400 to 450 word argumentative essay that you need to write using information from some text and an audio. Task 2 is correcting a poorly written paragraph and rewriting a better version of it in about 150 to 200 words. And task 3 is writing about 200 to 250 words where you argue for something using information from some graphics. So for test 2, the max points is 33.33. You need at least 20 points again to pass, and I got a 21.48. I literally just passed this one, so I have a good amount of room to improve my writing. I knew that this was definitely going to be a struggle for me because I'd spent almost all my time in the past 2 years practicing writing and haven't written a formal essay in a very long time. So I had to relearn how to write one of these exam essays and then add the language challenge on top of that. I have lots of room to grow here, but I just made it over the hill this time, so that's a pass for test 2. And remember, you have to pass all 3 tests or you automatically fail the exam. Test 3 is the speaking test. It'll run you about 20 minutes and it has 3 parts. In part 1, you read some text and graphics, and then you have to prepare a 6 to 8 minute monologue where you argue for something in formal presentation styles. Part 2, the exam person then challenges you to a formal debate about your presentation. You have to hold your own and think on your feet right in the moment to try to win the debate. And this lasts about 5 to 6 minutes. And in part 3, you get a couple of newspaper headlines. You get a couple seconds to look at them, and then you have to have an informal conversation about them with the exam person on the spot for about 5 to 6 minutes. Test 3 has a max of 33.34 points. You need at least a 20 to pass again. I got a 33.34, which is insane. I was really thrilled about this one. I'd spent most of my time in the past few months trying to get my conversation and debate skills sharp, so it was nice to see it come through and pay off in the pressure of the exam. I actually remember having a lot of fun in this part of the exam. At one point, I almost forgot that I was speaking in another language. I was just so engrossed in the conversation. The words were flowing out of my mouth, and I even got the exam person to crack a smile and laugh during the debate. It was a really great conversation, and I enjoyed this part quite a lot. But I've got to keep my skills sharp so I don't get too rusty, so I'm looking forward to continuing to get better at my conversation skills. So with those 3 test scores, that means I passed the C2 exam. And that is an awesome feeling. I've wanted to learn Spanish for such a long time, and doing this felt like accomplishing a childhood dream of mine. Life has gotten busy lately, but when things calm down, I'm definitely going to celebrate this one and then dive in fully back into studying this beautiful language again. If you want me to make another video sharing exactly how I studied for the Spanish C2 exam in the 6 months that I had using these books and a few others, let me know in the comments and I'll find time to put together that video. And if you're curious to see exactly how I went from 0 to fluent in Spanish, then check out this video next, and hasta la próxima.